Hi. So today, I'm gonna take you guys on a little journey about my hair. Actually, it's gonna be a very long and chaotic journey. Basically, I'm gonna tell you guys my entire hair journey from when I was little all the way until now, and I'm gonna go in between with a lot of the chaos that went on with my hair, from going blonde to black to brown to every color in between. And then after that, I'll give you guys some tips and tricks on what I've done to repair the absolute shit show of damage that I caused to my hair years ago, and how I have maintained it and kept it long, and how I keep retaining length. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I've done absolutely the worst damage to my hair, but I've fixed it. I have fixed my hair. And so I'm just gonna let you know what I do. You don't have to do this, and it may not work for everybody's hair type, but you know, use the advice that you wish to use. You know what I mean? So it all starts, my mom and dad have me, you understand. Just to give you guys a little background on, you know, my race and everything. My mom's white, my dad's black. My dad is specifically from Zimbabwe. And so this is relevant because my mom, being a white woman, had absolutely no idea what to do with my hair. God love her. She absolutely had no idea what to do with my hair. She didn't grow up surrounded by a whole lot of people with my kind of hair. So most of the time, I wish I had pictures right now, but I don't. Most of the time, my hair was just this huge puff. Like literally, my mom would try to put it in a ponytail, and it would just be like these puffs of hair here that just like weren't long enough to go into a ponytail. And then I have like my little puff back here, and it looked like so uncombed, so matted. It wasn't her fault. God love her, she just didn't know. She didn't know. So probably around like 5 or 6 years old is when my mom learned about relaxers. Now, if you don't know what a relaxer is, it's basically like a chemical that permanently straightens your hair. It like breaks down the bonds in your hair so that your hair isn't curly anymore. It's like the opposite of a perm that makes your hair curly. It just breaks down your hair to where it takes away the curl. So that was like my first introduction to damage, but it wasn't the worst damage that was ever put on my hair. My mom actually did a really good job of taking care of my hair when it was relaxed. It made it so much easier to take care of. Like I remember even when I had my relaxer, but really before, like it hurt so much to get my hair just brushed, to get it washed. Like it hurts so badly. Like anybody who has my kind of hair and having it brushed, it fucking hurts. It does, it hurts. But my hair never ended up like looking the way I really wanted it to look. And as a kid, you know, I wanted my hair to be straight, shiny, blowing in the wind, all of that. Like I wanted it to be like my mom's hair. And it didn't look like the girls at, you know, a lot of the girls at school. Although there were girls at school who had like braids and stuff like that, but like that hurt too. And I just remember my mom would try so hard to get my hair as straight as humanly possible with just blow drying my hair, which like doesn't work. She would put like conditioner in it and everything, like a leave-in and stuff, just to like get it as flat as possible. And it just...
Let's take a shot every time I say never in this clip of juice.
Just never worked. It never worked. And my mom never used like hot tools on my hair. Like she never used like a straightener. She never used anything that had excessive heat. And I just didn't even know that those things existed at the time. I had no idea that you could buy those things at the store. I did not know what a straightener was. I just knew that my mom had a blow dryer and that's what she used on my hair. So I went through years of just being so frustrated with my hair, and honestly, I would just wear it like this most of the time. I would just wear it in like a low ponytail. Most of the time my hair was just like all over the place. And I was also a tomboy too as a kid, so I really didn't care that much. But there would be like once in a while where I'm just like, you know what? I really want to have like that long, like flowy hair. I want it to be a little more girly, but most of the time it wasn't an issue. I just like pulled it back in a low ponytail. Now come around early middle school, we end up moving to the United States. You guys don't know this, but I used to live in South Africa when I was little, but we moved to the United States and things were a lot different. I ended up going to a hair salon in middle school, and they did things so differently there. They actually used like hot tools, like very, very hot tools. Also, you know, they did my hair, they put the relaxer in and everything like that. And what they did is they put like oil in it. They put oil in your hair, like back then. It was bad. So they ended up putting like oil in my hair and straightening it. And then I honestly remember thinking to myself, holy shit, like how did they get my hair so straight, so shiny? Like I've never seen my hair like this in my entire life. I was so excited about it. You know, mind you, I didn't know that my hair could look any differently. It was so oily and weighed down, but I was just like, oh my God, it's actually flat. Like it's not like this huge poof ball that like has no consistency to it.
Just to clarify, I don't think that thick poofy hair is ugly by any means. Mine was just not styled in a way that actually made it look cute. So that's all I'm saying in this clip. I think that all hair is beautiful, and when you style it correctly, it can look absolutely gorgeous.
I was so excited about it. I was just like blown away. So that's when I figured out that you can get a straightener at like Walmart or CVS or literally anywhere. And I ended up doing just that. I started getting oils and stuff for my hair because that's what the salon used. And I was like, oh, I want my hair to look like how it used to at the salon. So I bought like hair oil, flat iron. That's when the damage really started. So I started doing my hair at home. I just figured out how to do it. I'm a huge DIYer, as you're gonna find out. Do my hair at home. My mom would do my relaxers, and I would straighten my hair. I would blow dry my hair. I would straighten my hair. I would do all of that myself. However, I never used heat protectant. I put oil in my hair before I would straighten my hair, and then I would turn my straightener up to the absolute highest scorching heat. And I would do this every day. Let me tell you, the amount of damage that I did to my hair over those years was so astronomical. Like, it was disgusting. And I was in such denial too. I was in such denial that my hair was breaking off by the second. There would be bits of hair just everywhere, but the pieces were like this big. So you knew it was breakage and it wasn't just shedding. My hair ended up being like this short. I still felt to myself, no, my hair's long. It's straight, right? And that was the mentality I had. I was like, my hair's straight and it's shiny. I didn't care that it was like not healthy. I didn't believe it wasn't healthy. So a few years go by and I'm like a sophomore in high school.
Okay, so this is going to be the most unrelatable part of this video, but it is relevant, so I'm so sorry. Just please power through it. Thanks.
And I'm at that stage where I'm like, I want to be a model. I don't fucking know. So my dad still lived in California at the time, and I went to visit him. And he ended up setting up this photo shoot for me just to get like some headshots and things like that. And I was working like with his assistant at the time. She took me to go get like my hair and nails done. We go to the salon and they did a relaxer for me and they also straightened my hair. But the biggest difference that they did compared to the salon in Indiana is that they didn't put oil in my hair. It was like this cathartic moment. It changed everything. Literally changed the way I did my hair still to this day. That stupid fucking photo shoot that we did changed everything. I don't want to say this photo shoot was stupid. It was actually pretty fun. I was so amazed at how soft and movable my hair was. I didn't know that my hair could look like this or feel like this. I even talked to the assistant. I was like, do you guys not put oil in your hair here? And she's like, sweetie, we don't do that anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess Indiana was a little behind on the times. Are we really that surprised though? So I took that little trick with me back home, and that's how I did my hair the rest of my life, really. So years go by, I'm still doing my hair the same way. Near the end of like senior year, like junior, senior year of high school, that's when I started to air dry my hair. I was like, I want to just air dry my hair and see how it looks. I would do that, I don't know, maybe like once a week or something like that. It looked disgusting, by the way. If you ever have seen anybody or had a relaxer in your life and you try to air dry it, it looks like this. It looks like this. It's like crinkly, crunchety. It's not even like a wave. It's more just like this straight, weird, dead piece of straw. Like, I don't even know how to fucking explain it. I wore my hair like that, but it was actually a good thing that I did because I stopped putting so much heat on my hair. And I started to notice that my hair was getting longer. So throughout that time, I would see quite a bit of growth, and this kind of followed me into college as well. It was still pretty damaged because I would still straighten it and everything and get relaxers, but a huge change happened when I went to college. When I left for college, I had to fend for myself. I didn't have my mom there to do my relaxers anymore, and nobody else was gonna know how to do relaxers for me in my dorm, you know what I mean? So I would just do my hair myself. I would just straighten my hair as best as I could, and it actually worked out. It was fine. I did my hair just fine. I straightened it and it came out looking great. But that meant I wouldn't get a relaxer as frequently, so my new growth would come out. And I would still get relaxers when I came back home, but I wouldn't get them as frequently. So my hair had like a little bit of a chance to get like a break. Until eventually I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like getting them anymore. I don't really need to. I can style my hair just fine without them, and why not just give it a break? I think it'll probably be healthier for my hair, and we'll just see what happens. So I do that for some time. Hair feels pretty healthy. And then I start to experiment with color. So the first time I experimented with color, honestly, it was just boring. It was like jet black. It was the most boring, safest thing I could ever do in my life. But until that point, I hadn't ever had any kind of hair color or anything like that. My hair was always brown. It was basically just like this color. And the only reason, honestly, the only reason that I got my hair dyed, or actually I dyed it myself, let's be honest, it was black box dye. Thanks, Revlon.
You've always been a real one.
So the only reason I actually did that was because I got clip-in extensions from like eBay. So I got the extensions and they were too dark for my hair. So I was like,
I'm just gonna dye my hair then.
I'm not gonna dye the extensions, I'm gonna dye my hair. That was my solution. That was my solution. And honestly, it looked really good. I actually really liked my hair. It was this like very dark raven color. I liked it. It was a change. The hair extensions were a little excessive at the time, but you know, whatever, we're experimenting. So then we get to my senior year of college. I knew that my entire life I had always wanted to try blonde hair, and I was ready. I was ready to do it. I was tired of being too scared about what it will look like. I was like, let's just fucking go. Let's go. I'm gonna do it. I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna do it. So my broke ass books an appointment to a salon, and I tell her like, hey, this is my hair, this is what I've done to it. I haven't had a relaxer in a while. Mind you, I still had a lot of relaxer still left in the ends of my hair. My hair was probably 3 inches of hair growth, you know, like new growth. So there was still relaxer on that end and leftover box dye. So she goes over my hair and says like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. I go in and I spend upwards of $300 at least. And honestly, my hair didn't even turn out blonde. It was more like a light brown. She told me, we'll just come in and keep like highlighting along the way, which I mean, that's the real advice that you should take. Go slow. So I was like, I'm broke. I can't afford to just keep coming back like this. I'm a broke college kid. So can we guess what I decided to do? I decided I was gonna do it myself. So I looked up a bunch of YouTube videos on how to do like a highlighter cap, because that's what I wanted to start off with. I didn't want to do a whole just root to tip, you know, dye or anything like that, or bleaching. I didn't want to do any of that. I was too scared for that. And so I apply it myself at my apartment. Now this is a side note, but it's a very important side note. Remember how I told you how my hair had grown out about like 2 to 3 inches? My hair, my natural hair, when I started feeling it, it was very like thick and wavy, and I had no idea that my hair actually felt this way beforehand. And that's like a big reason as to why I wanted to grow my hair out, because I'm curious as to what my natural hair actually looks like. My hair was very strong and thick right here. However, the rest of my hair was very damaged. It was relaxed, had box dye on it. There's this thing called the line of demarcation where your hair, your natural hair is right here, and then you have the relaxer right here. So there's a line that basically connects the two right there. And that line is so weak, it's so brittle, and it's so prone to damage and breakage. So it's like that part is such a crucial area to pay attention to if you're growing out your hair. Whether you have a relaxer or whether you have just like super damaged hair, like if you bleached it or anything like that, that's such a crucial part of your hair to really pay attention to because it's very prone to damage and it'll snap off. So I put the bleach on, let it process. Now, remember that line of demarcation I just explained? What happened when I removed that cap, some of the hair left with it. It had broken off at that line of demarcation. Not only was it wet, which makes your hair, it's a lot more fragile when it's wet, but it had just processed with bleach. I didn't even know what developer it was, like what volume it even was. So I didn't even know how strong it was. It could have been like 40 volume that I was putting on already bleached hair, already relaxed hair. Now, not all of it broke off. It was just a few pieces here and there, but it was enough that I freaked the fuck out. Then I put on the good old tried and true Wella T18 toner, and I actually ended up with like a pretty cool color, which was this. It was actually really good for what it was. I did that myself. I was super proud of myself. So I'm blonde for a while. I'm growing out my hair. Now as time goes on, my hair is not thriving. It is failing hard. And it's so damaged. Again, that line of demarcation just starts to break off more and more and more and more because I'm still straightening my hair. I'm still bleaching my hair, and that area is just getting so weak, and straightening it did absolutely nothing to hide it. And I ended up like cutting a lot of hair off because it was so damaged, but I went through a Karen phase. Like the color was actually very, very good for what I did at home. And I got so obsessed with toning my hair that I ended up like turning my hair white, which was actually pretty cool. But it was really cool. I had a fun time having like white hair. Like I thought it was really cool. But over time, it ended up breaking off so much at that line of demarcation that we were talking about, you know, that I couldn't even really hide it anymore. I could not hide it. It was so apparent. So yeah, my hair ended up looking so broken off and weak, and there was nothing I could do about it. You know, for a long time I was just straightening my hair and trying to like blend everything together, but it just wasn't working. No hairstyle could hide the atrocities that were my hair. So we go to a pivotal time in my life where I really chopped off all my hair. So it was New Year's Day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna chop off all my hair. I need to get rid of this damage. So I cut off piece by piece, and I get rid of all of this dead hair. The feeling of my hair, like my new hair, even though it's my natural hair, it was new to me. Like I didn't know what my hair really felt like, but it felt so good. My hair was so healthy, it was soft. I had these beautiful curls that I didn't even know existed, and I was so happy about it. My hair was healthy, and it was my goal to grow my hair out. I was gonna grow my hair out, I was gonna keep it healthy, and I was not going to put heat on it. I think I promised myself like at least 6 months, and that's what I did. I put no heat on my hair. I just air dried it. I did keep bleaching it, but I didn't put any heat on it. I just put like coconut oil in it, conditioner in it. I did all of that stuff, and my hair grew out, and it looked actually pretty cool here. I really liked that. I thought it was really cool. Now time keeps a rolling. My hair is getting longer, but I'm like, you know what? Being blonde is kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna go back to black, baby. Yeah, I ended up going back jet black again, and honestly, she was thriving. She was thriving. She was full, she was thick, she was shiny. So you would think that I would just be happy with my hair, that I would just leave it the fuck alone, but no. As my hair grew out, I thought to myself, oh, well, my hair is all natural now. It's healthy, and it can tolerate more damage. So I'm gonna go back to blonde again. I did not go to a salon. I did everything all myself with the help of YouTube, of course. And this is what we got. Now, it really turned out pretty golden and not as orange, so that was better. And I would continue to bleach my hair to where it got a lot lighter, and this is what we ended up with. So happy with my blonde hair, and I'm just, you know, having fun with it yet again. But of course, being the Libra that I am, I can't make a decision to save my life. So what do we do again, guys? We go to brown this time. We go to brown. We don't go full jet black, we go to brown. And this is what I ended up with. Just regular brown hair. It was fine. It was healthy. It looked good. But again, being the indecisive person that I am, I couldn't just not go back to blonde again. I remember we were planning a group trip to Tokyo, and I was like, I want to be blonde for Tokyo. And I will say, after having so much experience, you know, practicing being a blonde and doing my own hair at home, I will say this one really takes the cake. In a good way. I really did such a good job, and I'm so proud of this blonde that I ended up getting. And so this is like what I ended up with the last time that I went blonde, and I did it myself. Like, your girl did good. I did good. I did a good job. So I followed this video by Elle Bangs, and honestly, it was like the best DIY for doing balayage, because that's really what I wanted, was balayage. I didn't want my hair to be blonde from root to tip. And so that was the last time I have been blonde. And after that, again, I was like, okay, this is a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna go back to black. And this is where we are. This is where we are today. So now we're at the part where I tell you guys how exactly I went from this to this now. This is how long my hair is. Sorry, tits. So how did I get here? So my hair's been this color ever since I changed it back to black. It's faded. I haven't dyed my hair in a really long time, so I think this is mainly all my hair pretty much. Yeah, but all of my hair at this point is natural. It's not relaxed or anything like that. I do still straighten my hair, but I usually do that like once a week or something, but then I'll give my hair breaks. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips, basic tips, how to maintain your hair and how to retain length. And honestly, that's the most important part, I would say, about growing your hair. It's really length retention, because your hair can grow. I mean, on average, it's like, what, half an inch a month? It can grow out of your scalp, but what are you doing to the ends? It's making them like break off. Like, that's something that's really important to pay attention to. So the most important tip, we're gonna use this little acronym, SFWT.
Sorry, I'm an absolute moron and I meant to say SFWI. Thanks.
Stop fucking with it. Honestly, the best thing that I've ever done for my hair is to just stop doing shit to it. Like, just leave it alone. That's the best thing I have ever done, is having my natural hair color, having my natural hair texture, and just giving it a break. And I'm not saying that you can't do things to your hair. I'm not saying that at all, because obviously, but the best thing is to just like take things slowly and within moderation. So don't straighten your hair every day. Don't bleach it into oblivion and fry the fuck out of it like I did. If you're going to bleach your hair or get highlights or something, listen to professionals and go slowly. That last time that I went blonde, it broke off, but I also went so quickly. I got there in a day. That shouldn't have taken a day. That should have taken like months to get to, and I did it in a day. So don't do what I did. Unless you're okay with getting damage to your hair, then that's not the point of this video. When you put heat on your hair, it's just damaging your hair. I mean, it is. You can't get away from it. Your hair is going to be damaged. I mean, you're burning your hair. You are. So the best thing that you can do is to limit the heat as much as you can. What I did is I would just straighten my hair once a week, leave it alone. I would use hair protectant whenever I would blow dry it, and then usually put hair protectant on it again before I straightened it. If you just have to blow dry it, like, just do that. That's another thing too, is just blow drying your hair as well. That seems to be okay. I remember when I was younger, my mom would just blow dry my hair, like I mentioned before, and my hair was really long, like it was down to my back, and it was because she didn't put a whole lot of heat on it. Do heatless styles when you can. If you don't want to air dry your hair and just leave it in its natural state, like down, put it in like Dutch braids or something. You could put like curlers or something like that in your hair if that's what you want to do, and then just like sleep on it or whatever, or go under like a hooded dryer. Anything, just literally anything to keep heat off of your hair as much as you possibly can. Use conditioner. I know that this is something that everyone pretty much knows, but some people don't. Use conditioner and let it sit for a few minutes. You know, let it sit for a few minutes and do its job. And you don't need to wash out all of it, you know, kind of experiment a little bit to see how much conditioner you can leave in your hair without leaving it weighed down. Everyone's hair type is different. So, you know, if your hair is a little more on the straight side, I wouldn't leave a whole lot in there because it's just gonna look really weighed down. But if you have really curly hair and you want to air dry it, put in all of the conditioner. That's what I do anyway. I just saturate my hair in conditioner. I leave it in. I just use Aussie Moist. It's cheap, it works, and I put in a bunch of styling creams and stuff like that. If you guys want to know what I use, let me know down below and I can make a little video on that too. So I just do that. You know, if you can put oils in your hair as well. I would say for people with straight hair, put oils in your hair when your hair is wet, not when it's dry, because again, it's gonna weigh your hair down even more. For people with really curly hair, you can just put it in wet and then again, you can let it dry, or what you can do, put oil on your hair when it's dry. Probably just don't touch your hair too much because then it's just gonna like frizz up once it's already dry and curly. Cut your split ends, but not as often as you think. So I cut my own hair as well because I'm fucking cheap. So, you know, I recently cut my ends, as you can see. It's probably pretty obvious because it probably looks like shit, but I just cut my own ends when it looks like they need a cut. I don't cut them every like 3 months. All I do is cut them when they look like they're starting to look uneven and just damaged, and just cut a little bit off. You don't need to chop everything off. I mean, unless your hair is literally damaged like all the way up here, I mean, you don't have to cut it all off. And I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, you need to take all these vitamins and have this diet and everything, because I don't know. I don't know. The biggest thing that has worked for me, again, is retention and paying attention to that. I know that my hair grows like a ½ an inch a month. I've measured it with my blonde hair, made it really easy to measure out new growth. And when you're brushing your hair too, don't rake through it like that. Take it easy. But honestly, the biggest takeaway from this is just stop fucking with it. Give it water, leave it alone. And honestly, this has just been a learning journey for me, and I'm super happy that I went through all of the phases that I went through. I'm happy that I experimented, because I mean, I would hate to look back and think like, oh, what would it have been like to be blonde or to have jet black hair? You know, I never wanted to regret not doing something, so that's why I did it. And even though I had damage along the way, I had a really good time. But I am happier now with my long hair that's brown and my natural hair. This is what it looks like natural, by the way. And it's thriving. My hair is thriving. It's so shiny. It is long, it is healthy. It could be healthier, but you know, we balance things. So this is kind of where we're ending this video. You know, this is where we're ending the video. If you would like any more videos from moi, let me know. Let me know what you want me to talk about. This was really fun. I actually had a really good time filming this for you guys. All right, guys, I'm gonna see you next time.